They say the road keeps count, not of footsteps, but of returns. Every 8 heartbeats, the street remembers the last thing it saw. It blinks, and the lanterns tremble like eyelids trying not to close. Do you feel it? The way the air forgets your name, and then recalls it. A little wrong, each time. If you stand very still, right where the bricks thin to bone, you can hear the town clear its throat before it speaks. Look at the windows. The curtains pretend to sleep, but the glass is busy, swallowing your reflection and spitting it back a breath older. Each blink, each loop, a tiny theft of time. Welcome back. The street has been expecting you. They say once, a man tried to leave this road at midnight. He tied bells to his coat so he would hear if anything followed him. The townsfolk found the coat the next morning. The bells were still ringing, but there was no wind and no man. There's a legend the shopkeepers won't price, not even on the last dusty tag. They say if you press them, they'll cough, or drop a coin, or suddenly remember a chore in the back room. Anything to avoid naming him. They call him the watcher in between. Not the lantern lighter, not the bellman, something older. He walks when the town is stitching one moment to the next, when the film in the sky clicks, and the scene repeats, and no one notices, except children, and cowards, and the dead. If you want to meet him, don't call out. Just listen. When the loop resets, there's a hitch in the wind, like a door reconsidering a secret. That is when he steps from the scene. Not everyone sees him with their eyes. Some hear the watcher as a second set of footsteps, just behind their own, never faster, never slower. And when they stop walking, the sound stops too. One woman swore she turned around fast enough to catch him, but all she saw was her own shadow, smiling. I saw him once, when I was small enough to hide behind lamplight. He leaned to a pumpkin whose grin wouldn't hold, and the flame stuttered like a name on cold lips. He said, "Which house?" And the light pointed. He never knocks. He doesn't have to. The street does it for him. In this town, missing doesn't mean gone. It means in storage. It means filed in a drawer made of fog, with a little tag tied to the toe of a memory. It means that if you stand right here long enough, if you let the lanterns blink and blink and blink, the town will show you where it put them. There was a child who whistled through a keyhole each year at midnight, a seamstress who stitched shadows to coats, so people wouldn't lose theirs, a constable who carried 2 watches, one for time, one for guilt. They're all here. They're always here. They step forward one at a time, only when the loop is soft enough to touch. Do you know the tale of the shoemaker's boy? He carved soles so thin that people said you could feel the dead beneath the cobblestones. One night, he ran barefoot through the square, screaming. When they caught him, his feet were black, not burned, not dirty, just black, as if the road had signed its name on him. He never spoke again, and yet, sometimes, on quiet loops, you'll hear the scrape of little feet, dragging just behind yours. I am not warning you, I am introducing you. The street likes manners. Do you see how the lantern sputters on the 3rd blink? Count with me. 1, 2, 3. That shiver means someone's name is floating up the well. Listen, Marjorie. The town says it like it's tasting chalk. She had the toy shop on the corner, the window with the crack that fogged from the inside. The glass still remembers the warmth of her hands. It fogs with phantom breath when no one passes. Sometimes it draws shapes on its own, like a fingertip tracing letters no one dares to read. When she vanished, all the dolls turned their heads toward the door at once, and then pretended they hadn't. If you step closer, the loop will resist. It trusts the distance. It memorized this angle. But the watcher, he likes a challenge. He pushes his thumbprint into what should not move, and the town sighs and makes room. You want the truth. The street wants you to ask. It wants you to lean into the scene and say, "Who did you keep for me?" Because that is the trade this place was built on. We light the pumpkins. The pumpkins light the way. The way leads to a door. The door leads to a name. The name leads to a debt. Sometimes, on the 5th blink, you'll hear a rocking chair from an alley that doesn't fit on any map. Sometimes, on the 7th, you'll smell candle wax and mothballs, and rain that never arrived. But on the 8th, the exact length of your heartbeat, the hinge of forever, on the 8th, the town answers. Don't blow me out. There was a preacher once who came here to bless the lamps. He read from his book, voice shaking, page by page, loop by loop. The flames listened politely, and then each one blew itself out, in order. They say he kept reading, long after the dark had eaten him, and if you lean too close to certain lanterns, you can still hear the echo of his voice, muffled under glass. You heard it. They always say the same thing. Not help me, not find me, not even remember me. They say, don't blow me out, because they are the light, and we are the wind. So here's how you open the drawer, without being pulled inside. On the reset, you hold your breath. On the 2nd, you count the cracks in the cobblestone. On the 3rd, you speak your own name backwards, just the first syllable. The town is old, not cruel. On the 4th, you look into the dark between the lantern and the window, and you agree not to flinch. If you pass the test, someone will stand up inside the glass. There she is. No reflection, no breath. Just the idea of a woman pressed like a leaf inside the pane. Marjorie, toy shopkeeper who sold thread to sew buttons on mouths, for fun, or so the children lied. Her hand lifts, slow as old ink. The lantern hiccups, once, like a guilty candle. She isn't asking for rescue. The dead here have internalized the policy. She wants a favor. Take the key that's missing from her ring. It's painted on the sign above the door. Yes, painted. Yes, above. Take it anyway. Some doors in this town open the wrong way. Not inward, not outward, but upward, like a jaw unhinging. Step through one, and you don't leave the room. The room leaves you. The butcher's apprentice vanished that way. The next day, his cleaver was found, wedged in the ceiling, still dripping. In this town, paint is just colour behaving itself. It will peel from the wood and droop into your palm like a wet pepper. It will be exactly as heavy as a secret that was never given permission to leave. The watcher is near, not in the frame, not in the loop, but in the punctuation between them. He smells like wick smoke and pennies swallowed by a church floorboard. He does not stop you. He appraises you like a thief choosing which drawer to leave unlocked. Stand where the street can see. Hold up the painted key. If it blurs at the edges, you chose correctly. If it sharpens, it is not yours to carry, and you should set it back before it becomes a wasp. Good. It blurs. It mourns. It mows you. Now slide it into the lock you can't see, right where the curtain refuses to be still. When you turn it, don't expect the door to open. In this place, the doors open you. The street brightens by the width of a remembered smile. Your spine copies the shape of a question mark. Somewhere, not here, a bell rings once and regrets it. Marjorie steps out, not from the shop, not from the glass, but from the distance between the two. You feel her pass through. You, like old perfume finding its bottle. And then you know what was kept. Not her. Her promise. She promised to count the children on All Hallows and make sure the number was even. Not for safety, not for superstition, because the odd one belongs to the road. The road loves its odd ones. There was a twin once. The brother vanished in spring, the sister in fall. Every October since, two shadows walk here, holding hands. But only one is cast by a body. The other is waiting. Tonight the count is wrong. It is always a little wrong, but tonight it is wrong on purpose. The watcher is patient. He has let the loop blink and blink and blink, until you finally ask the right question. Which one is late? You don't have to search. The street points like a dog taught by thunder. There, where the bricks thin to bone, do you feel the coolness that moves like a hand through water? Step into it, and the town will edit you. Now, look down. Your shadow is holding someone else's hand. Not a trick of light, a contract. Marjorie nods once, and the watcher gives the lantern look that means, pay up. Say the name the pumpkin couldn't finish. Say it clearly. Give the street what it wants. Don't blow me out. The lantern steadies. The loop is smooth as glass. No shiver. No hitch. Now, the borrowed hand lets go of your shadow and tucks itself back where it belongs. Marjorie fades into the discipline of the window. The watcher in between steps away from the seams and takes the hinge sound with him. The street has been gracious. It gave you a debt and let you pay it in the smallest coin. Remember, that is the currency here. Spend it wisely. Keep a little for the road home. Do not linger too long. The street has a habit of copying you. First your stride, then your voice, and finally your face. There is a house at the far end where the shutters never open. Some say it is filled with copies. All the people the town didn't need, but didn't want to throw away. And if you look hard enough in the glass tonight, you may see yourself already standing there, waiting. And if the lanterns tremble tomorrow, if the loop blinks wrong, if a name scratches at the back of your teeth, like a match begging for a strike, do not be stingy with your breath. Some lights go out when you blow, ours go out when you won't.